Welcome to Stitches in Time, the podcast discussing Doctor Who the way it was meant to be watched, in chronological order, one clip at a time, starting at the Big Bang and ending with the heat death of the universe. I'm Becca, the Matrix Archivist, and I spent the last 12 years of my life meticulously editing the entire televised Doctor Who universe into chronological order.
And I'm Mandy, and I've actually only seen the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, so I'm not sure if I'm ready for the Secret of the Ooze, but I guess I'm figuring it out today.
I'm pretty sure we established he's made of ramen or pesto or something. So clearly you're not prepared.
No.
And also joining us today is Ivy Hanover, also known by the nickname Protagonist Ivy, is a mega nerd who makes YouTube videos sometimes, as well as branching out into writing, Circular Gallifreyan, and plenty more things she tries to keep track of. And central to these things tends to be her massive love for Doctor Who. Welcome to the podcast, Ivy.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I was really shocked when you told me about Stitches in Time, because I was like, that must take so much time just to even figure out what comes first chronologically, but to put it all in order and on a time, that's crazy.
When I say I spent 12 years doing this, the first 8 of those years at least was just watching TV and making spreadsheets. I didn't even go into editing until I felt ready, you know.
At what point did the random number generator get added in? Was that part of the 8 years? Does that have to come at, did you start with, here's the concrete, firm timeline of things, and then here's what do I do with the additional stuff?
That is kind of what it was. I have, anything that I don't know quite what it is, I just, give it a number that's just, based on the episode that it's in, and it's just I don't know, this should happen sometime in the future, or sometime after whenever exoplanets get colonized or whatever. And that's, but this is not, this is this clip is sort of a random number generator one. So we're talking about City of Death. Again, this is the second time City of Death has come up on the podcast.
Thankfully, Tom Baker is ill and or else not otherwise here. So it was a great time. 10 out of 10.
Mandy hates Tom Baker's face. And
what? I'm pretty sure, what? That's all I'm gonna say is, what?
I don't like when he is here. I know Tom Baker as an actor cannot help his face, and everything that I've heard is that it seems like a nice, I don't mean to, I know that I refer to Tom Baker by his character, and I don't mean to disparage the actor, because he can't help how he was born. His parents made that mistake, not him.
I think the only thing I have to say or add to that is that my brother's first impression of classic Doctor Who was City of Death. He walked into the living room as I was watching it, and he saw the Fourth Doctor and said, that man's definitely British. So I don't know what that was about, but that's all I have to add to that.
Was this as you were watching it for this podcast, was this just this past?
No, this was years ago. This was when me and him were fresh teenagers. I couldn't have been more than 13 when I first watched City of Death. So this was a decade ago or more. So
okay. Amazing. We don't have a lot to talk about in this 4-second clip.
We have in the context of the Stitches in Time, so we've just confirmed cavemen. We've recently confirmed cavemen. We had all of that go on. And I have to assume, based off of, this guy looked exactly the same as all of the cavemen, so I think one of them just got covered in goop, which I presume is a thing that happens when you're a caveman sometimes. Goop happens to you.
Nickelodeon happens.
And they they recapped it, and now they memorialize it every year at the Kids' Choice Awards. That's what the slime is.
Cool.
It's like one of our evolutionary, like, habits.
Yeah, goop.
So this is in City of Death, Part 3, there is a, like, I don't even want to call it a montage, because that I think is an insult to montages. But
is a montage just a guy hanging out? And, like, sometimes, you know, like, it's like a shopping montage, like a makeover, but you look exactly the same at the beginning, at the end, and you don't have to change anything. And why would you? You already made these conscious choices to look like that.
Mandy, I have to be clear. When I'm the montage I'm talking about is this clip is from that montage. I'm not suggesting that this 4-second clip is in itself a full montage.
It's okay. Each frame is an aspect of the montage.
Yeah, I don't think that Scaroth of the Jaggeroth is like any better at karate by the end of this 4-second clip than he was.
I was like, Becca, you're the one, like, you have like film school training. I don't. I guess you know. I have marketing. And marketing is just like whatever you think it is, if you'll buy it, then yeah, that's what it is.
Oh,
yeah, it's a montage. It's a montage. It can be a montage. We can add some like 2000s girly pop music over it, and it'll be a montage for 4 seconds. I don't even think it's 4 seconds. I think it's like 4 milliseconds.
It's super short. Anyway, yes, I did go to film school, and that's why I know that it's pronounced montage and not montage.
I believe it's Montague.
Yeah, I had to Google it before we started just to make sure I pronounced it right.
And you Googled it before because this was clearly a
montage, and I knew, like, oh,
yeah,
we're going to be discussing montages, and I just need to really make sure that I pronounce it right.
And Mandy, it's not Montague, it's montage goo. It's a montage of
yes, it's a montage of goo.
Anyway.
The classic style.
There's this montage in City of Death, Part 3. Not really a montage, but it's Scarleone reaching out across all his past selves to because he has like a psychic link across time, I guess. And the thing is that like there are so many overlays of like there's the like alien past ahead, so it's sort of hard to like actually see what's going on.
The Jaggeroth shall live through me. Together with push.
So at the moment, I think City of Death canonically in Stitches in Time is just like nothing makes sense. We can't really like tell what's going on in this story.
So are we presuming that the stuff happening here, is it in tandem with the stuff of like Sutek? Also, because we already had a clip of that, of like, oh, the evil Susan is being a bunch of people. And now I guess this guy is also being a bunch of people. And do they have any overlap? Do they like bump into each other and be like, wait, I thought this guy was mine. He's yours? What?
I hope that's the fanfic that Ivy, write this fanfic.
Everyone gets their host bodies mixed up.
Yeah.
Susan
like they have like custody battle.
Yeah, they're like, I thought I got this caveman.
I want to see a 3-camera sitcom of just the two of them bumping into each other and like being roommates.
You again? It's like, you know, they have like some of those romantic books where it's like fate keeps people intertwined, except it's not romantic. It's just they keep having like past incarnations that, you know, they sync with the main incarnation at the same time, and they're like, oh my, good to see you again, I guess. See you next time.
I really like, Ivy, that your worldview is like, yeah, fate keeps bringing romantic couples together, but also keeps bringing like people who slightly annoy each other together.
Yeah, like it also keeps slightly inconveniencing people or just making conversations awkward. At least if you don't like small talk, I guess.
I mean, I gotta say, my preferred version of romantic comedy is people who just keep annoying the shit out of each other until, I guess we're married now. which is they don't have that section in the romance books. I have gone to a full romance store and it was like, hey, here's the type of thing that I like. People being annoying at each other. And they're like, we got some ladies fucking a dragon. Will that work? And it turned out it didn't. The dragon was too nice.
Mandy, I think you've hit on exactly like the difference between straight people and queer people. It's just like straight people will just be like, I guess we're married now, and like queer people are like, no, actually you can like make decisions about your own happiness, as it turns out. Surprise happiness.
So which camp does the whole past incarnations debacle fall under, do we think?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it falls more in the straight camp of, I guess. Because, I mean, unless you're queering visiting your past incarnations, I don't know.
I really just love that you said the phrase straight camp. I was just like, oh, that's a oxymoron. I love it.
I think straight camp is just like season 1 of Family Guy.
Or The Office.
Yeah, season 1 of, honestly, most comedies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're trying something. What do you think about this? Like, change it up soon, and we'll love you for 15 years.
Yeah, like before, like, we're just gonna need to, like, dull all of your edges.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is, but yeah, in the Stitches in Time edit, this is kind of like a big reveal, because the last time we saw Scaroth, he was being blown up by Tom Baker and Romana and the other guy.
Oh, that is correct.
Duggan. Yes.
I love him. I love him so much.
He's my favorite.
Yeah. But you didn't even remember his name.
I know.
Was that the sequence where we had the side by side where one of them he's just like hanging out and the other one they're intervening? Yeah. So are we presuming that this like after of the pasta guy, is this with the interference or like not being interfered? Or is part of the issue of like, oh, all of this is coming together because of the weirdness of like, oh, technically I have 2 timelines and now they have to merge together in a weird way?
I mean, maybe the fact that there are 2 timelines right at the beginning there is why he splintered off into like multiple times in the first place. Because we're going to see him again in ancient Egypt. There's another like 4-second clip that like comes right after this one.
A 4-second montage.
Oh, just a 4-second montage, goo. Yeah, so maybe that's what it is. I mean, it's not like in the episode in the BBC edit. They're like, oh, well, it was a really big explosion that splintered him off through time. But I don't know if anybody told the BBC that's not how explosions work.
No.
So. Yes, now I'm maintaining that we have the 2 different timelines, one where he was just blowing himself up and one where he was trying to stop himself blowing up, but then Tom Baker and Romana and Duggan stopped him.
Which I gotta say, I'm still really confused as to what that all meant of like, no, we have to stop that guy from blowing himself up because we have to blow him up. It only works if we're the ones to do it.
Oh, man.
They just got really bored and they were like, don't take this from us.
I really got nothing.
There's not a whole lot other, like, I am amazed because, like, the BBC timeline, I'm assuming because what we've seen previously was in black and white and this one is in color. There was a significant amount of time in them filming these stories. But they managed to get what appears to be the exact same guy. And granted, I think all British people kind of look the same, which is difficult when you are married to one.
So sorry.
But I'm pretty sure that was just a caveman. That's just a caveman, right?
That's just what cavemen look like. Yeah.
Yeah. they made me look at so many cavemen, and they're like, hey, try telling all these ones apart, and be like, okay, BBC, I'm not gonna do that. And then they come here and be like, well, what happens if we give you some more colors? And be like, baby, I still can't tell them apart.
Yeah. We just watched the cavemen part of An Unearthly Child, and it's all those men look the same.
I keep scrolling back to watch the Scaroth clip, but it's so quick that it keeps sending me back to the end of the Unearthly Child clip, and then by the second I turn back here, and then I'm like, oh, the clip, and it's done already, and I'm like, now we gotta go back and do it again.
But it doesn't. Again, there is no reason for me to suspect that this is anything but one of the cavemen, because we go on the cavemen and we have a grouping of them. That was what we had in our previous episode. We talked a lot about it. We have the grouping of them, and then we just get one, and he got oozed. He got oozed.
He got slimed.
And I guess that happened because, like, Scaroth had, like, double timeline, and was like, hey, I heard we had people now, so hey, people, get some gunk on you. And the first person was like, oh, I really don't like this gunk, and that's how autism came about.
City of Death was filmed in front of a live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, did any of you ever go to that, like in Orlando, they had like the Nickelodeon Studios thing, and they would slime a kid?
I did not know.
Yeah, so I grew up in Florida, so we went there a lot, and there was one time I literally, like, because you go into a room, and they have everyone, like, get onto these benches, and there's one seat that has, like, a little plaque on it, and I was doing the math of, like, I'm going to be the one to sit in that little plaque, which means I'm going to be the one to get slimed. And so I get in, and I go in, and some kid's mom went and be like, hey, can you scoot over? So my kid was like, no, I did the math. So this is my seat. And it was like somebody's mom. And it was like, well, I can't fight an adult. I'm 7.
I think you should have.
And that's where the rage started, honestly.
I think you should have fought her, to be honest.
Mandy, do you think the math of figuring out what seat to sit in so you get slimed is the math problem that Adric failed to complete at the end? Sorry. I know that's so off topic, but
we'll never know
that's
if
the last time we've
right.
discussed math on this podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you just figured out and be like, and I'll be the one who gets slimed, and but the mom, instead it was a Cybermom who went and be like, no, actually, can Tommy sit over there?
I love how the mom is called Cybermom, but there's no alteration to Tommy or Timmy or whatever name. Cyber Timmy, Cyber Tommy, Cyber Sam.
Oh, I love this so much.
Yeah, and that's when I learned that, because I had spent all my life, I was a good kid. I was always a pleasure to have in class, and then I learned, oh, that doesn't mean shit. That just means I don't get slimed. So that's the lesson. Fight a mom.
Maybe. You know what? Have you seen the meme of someone getting text messages from like their grandma or something, and it just says, "Where's your rage? Rise." That's what's flashing through my mind right now. Like when you're trying to get slimed at Nickelodeon Studios and some mom comes up to you, it's just like, where's your rage? Fight! Rise!
Oh no, I didn't have rage, and it was unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you do for next time you go.
Yeah, they closed it down in like 2004.
Where's your rage? Fight! Rise!
All I want to do is to do the math and sit in the special chair, and then people put me in a white outfit so my regular outfit doesn't get messy, and then they cover me in slime. Is that too much to ask for?
I don't think it is. I think...
And yet everyone has failed me.
Listeners, if you want to donate some slime to Mandy, please send it to what's the address, Mandy? What's the physical mailing address that people can send Nickelodeon slime to so that you can cover yourself in it?
Let me.
Yeah. Find one. She's got so many email addresses ready to go, but as soon as I'm like, physical address, I'm gonna throw a wrench in the works
address.
there.
Well, I am sorry, they don't have the Twin Towers anymore. Our mail has been having trouble getting rerouted.
Wait, why not?
Oh, because in 2004 they closed down the Nickelodeon thing in Orlando.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Oh my god. On some level, I feel like a terrible person. On another level, I'm like, no, this is pretty on brand for me.
Yeah.
So, Ivy.
Yes.
How did you get into Doctor Who?
So, I actually love getting this question whenever I appear on podcasts, because everybody's answer is always like, you know, my best friend ever showed it to me, or my dad or mom showed it to me, or my grandparents showed it to me. I got into Doctor Who through Super Hulock memes.
Yeah.
There was this
hey
time
there.
on Tumblr.
Hey! How you doing?
It's so touching of a memory. I'm tearing up.
Hey, Ivy, did you know that you're valid? You're hashtag valid?
Yay! Well, I like your shoelaces.
Thanks, I got it from the president. That's not fun now. When they made that the rule, we had Obama, and that was a much more fun place to get shoelaces.
Yeah. I think I got into Doctor Who when I was like 11. So it was quite a long time ago, and Super Hulock was still kind of a thing. I don't think it's a thing. It's definitely not a thing anymore. It's just a nostalgia thing now.
I mean, I feel it's weird that Supernatural is the one that has survived.
Yeah.
Just because now that's how we get news. That's how we get news.
Only one of those shows is still on the air, but somehow Supernatural is the relevant one still?
Yeah.
Well, you never know, because they were talking about a Sherlock, like, reboot revival. But that was, like, a rumor, so I don't know the showbiz news, but, yeah, when I first, started using the Tumblr side of the internet, I had, like, been a little bit nerdy before that with, the kids shows I was into, but it was very clear that, like, Super Hulock was, like, the thing on Tumblr back then. Like, it was hot stuff. And I was definitely like, I need to get in on this. I need to see what the cool kids are doing. And I did. I started with Doctor Who. And obviously it took on, because I loved it. I had a rough start with it, to be honest, because I had never watched anything like it before.
You're like, I should check out one of these 3 shows. Let's start with the one that's been on for 50 years.
Well, I didn't know that when I first started. I just saw that, because Netflix at the time only had the 2005 onward. I didn't know that there was a whole 50-year history or anything like that. I just saw, first season, first episode on Netflix. Let's go. Nice. And I watched Sherlock later. I watched only the first 5 seasons of Supernatural, because that was like the planned ending of the show. And also I was like, I'm not watching 13 seasons of this. So I've seen part of Supernatural, but I have not completed it, and probably never will.
Yeah, I had that with Supernatural. I don't know how many seasons that I watched, but I basically watched up to like all of the previous seasons, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm caught up, and now there's airing it weekly, and that was not a show that I could watch weekly. So that's where I fell off of like, oh, you're making me do like a week-to-week commitment. I got a set time for you. No, you're not worth that. I will say, the only Sherlock like revival I will accept is if Stephen Moffat was like, yeah, we're bringing BBC Sherlock back, it's back, baby. First episode, it's just House, but they let Hugh Laurie have a British accent.
All right, I think that's valid. I think that's valid.
That. Yeah. So I haven't talked about this because I only care about Super Hulak when guests care about it, not when my co-host cares about it, apparently.
Oh.
But so my experience with Supernatural was my best friend from like second grade was really into it, and he lives on the East Coast, and I, I've been living in LA for a while, and he called me one day and he was like, Becca, there's a Supernatural convention in Las Vegas. I thought it'd be really fun if I fly to LA, we drive out there together, we spend the weekend at this con. I was like, that sounds like fun. I have never seen a single episode of Supernatural, so I guess I should do that. So we made these plans in September, and the convention was in March or April. So it's just all right, I guess I just have to binge this, and I've got 8 seasons in by the time we got to the con, so I think I did pretty well.
The first 5 seasons that I watched, I mean, they were pretty good. But I figured, I'm 13 seasons, how good is it gonna stay? And there was just, I knew that there was so much lore, and God comes in at one point. I'm pretty sure God has a sister at one point, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna call it good. I'm gonna call it good where I'm at.
Supernatural was really one of those where I realized, because I had mostly experienced the show through gift sets. And similar thing with Big Bang Theory, because Tumblr loved in the early 2010s doing gift sets of the Big Bang Theory. And as much as everyone fucking talks about they hate the Big Bang Theory, there were enough gift sets where I know people loved that show. And gift sets of it made it seem funny because I'm assuming the pacing of the joke, and then I watched it and it was like, oh, there actually wasn't any pacing to that joke, and it was just a bad. But the line, it was written fine. It was written fine. It fell apart after the writing. And similarly with Supernatural, it was I getting a line delivery of you're seeing the gift set of oh, that seems great. And I did not know that was what Cass sounded like until I watched the show, and it was that's not the voice that I thought matched with that. Okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of spoilers for Doctor Who when I got into it. I got into it before the 50th aired, but by the time I had caught up, it had already... I don't remember the full timeline, but I had gotten a lot of spoilers, and it was interesting, characters' voices I heard in my head, and then they were so different once I got to it, from what I had seen on Tumblr. It was interesting. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was a different show when you are actually watching it, and it was oh, this is actually a show that is best enjoyed through gift sets.
That's all you need sometimes. It's
and be you're gonna recap the best things for me, and I will get the emotion, be ah, that's all you need. Yeah. They're gonna get it for you. Most shows are like Supergirl's like that. Supergirl is amazing through gift sets. Don't watch it.
Okay, I won't.
Most of the CW DC shows just check out the tag on Tumblr. They got it for you.
The only one I've really watched any of was Legends of Tomorrow, and that was just because it was oh, Arthur Darvill gets to be the Doctor. That's all it was.
I've seen the first 3 seasons of The Flash, and I did enjoy it, but that was another one where I kind of just didn't keep up with it, and yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that one, and I have a real tangent on that one. I remember they did the musical episode of The Flash, and I checked that one out, and I got mad at it because they have... I can't remember. I'm trying to recall the name of the song from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The Moon River song. Is that what it's
Oh
called?
yeah,
Moon River?
yeah. I think it's just Moon River. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mind went totally blank, and all I could think of, and I make breakfast activities. That song is about breakfast activities. It does not appear in breakfast activities.
No, they sang Moon River, but it annoyed me because I hate when that is a song that is sung well, because the purpose of that song is not to be sung well. They wrote it for Audrey Hepburn specifically because she does not have the range. And they're like, we're going to do something for a bitch with no vocal range. We're just going to make it sound sweet and cute. And then so when you then have somebody belting it, it was like, no, thank you. You missed the point. It's supposed to be bad. It's for those bitches that can't sing.
Oh, my cat Kevin, please don't jump up on the printer. I have a printer up to the right of me, and he likes to jump on top of it. And I'm just gonna bring him down right now, because that's... Come here, buddy. Oh, no. This is Kevin, by the way.
Hi, Kevin.
Aww.
He is so upset that he has not been fed yet.
Aww.
But it's not time. So I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't get up on the printer, because that would be bad. But I'm back.
Sure.
And why is it not recognizing me now? Okay, come on, camera, get it together. Okay.
The camera's just
out
like,
that you're getting the one sucked in by the ooze.
Where'd that cat go? I want more of that cat. Bring the cat back.
Now it's like the edges are... It's whatever. It's whatever if I just don't have... I don't know. Okay.
It's great. Honestly, anytime that you are like being blurred out by effect, I think it's just because you're like, oh no, I am a goddess from beyond time and space. And
yes. Yes, I'm in the void.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond S space, which I didn't just invent. I've been here for quite some time.
Sorry, I'm being splintered into various throughout time.
Technically, because this is Stitches in Time, and we're all about things being properly within chronological time. So if you're outside of time, I think that puts you with all of the clips where the TARDIS is moving, which is somewhere else.
We gotta start over. I gotta be in a different block because I'm no longer in chronological tandem.
I just have to edit everything Ivy says out of this podcast.
Just add like an echo to it because I'm in S-space.
Ivy, thanks for joining us on the podcast. Fuck you, you're not on the podcast.
Oh, we didn't realize you were out of the fabric of space and time. This is how your email found me in S-space.
Well, I don't have anything else to say about this handful of seconds from City of Death.
I don't either. I can't rewind to it because every time I try, it's so quick that I don't fully absorb it before it's on to the next clip, which I can't spoil just in case.
I mean, we've seen the montage, and maybe next time we'll see the Capulets.
Yes.
I believe it's Capulet. I went to film school.
Yeah.
Ivy, where can people find you on the netterweb?
Oh gosh. So I recently changed my username at the beginning of this year. So I'm gonna hope that these are all correct. But my Twitter / it's just Twitter. I'm just gonna say just Twitter. My Twitter is @ProtagonistIvy. My Instagram is @ProtagonistIvy with an _ because somehow somebody beat me to the username. I don't know how that happened.
But you're the protagonist.
Yeah, I don't know how that even happened. But my YouTube channel is ProtagonistIvy. And then I also have a Blue Sky, which is also ProtagonistIvy. I think it's like bsk.social. I think I'm still getting used to transferring everything over there, but I am over there now. So that's mainly where people can find me.
Love it.
Great.
Well, I hope you'll join us next time when we're going to be talking about the two doctors.
Yeah. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe S-Space will ripple into J space, and then I'll be in a different subsection of the fabric of space-time reality. I don't know. It's kind of, it depends on the weather here, I guess.
Well, honestly, if that does happen, because I'm so committed to having Ivy on the episode about the two doctors, if you end up splintering off, I will find one of your other selves and invite her onto the podcast.
Okay, the two Ivies, yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's thematically relevant.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Ooh, I'm disappearing into space.
Oh no!
The forces are carrying me away.
Thanks for listening to Stitches in Time. Music by Becca the Matrix Archivist. Art by Mandy Akendo. Logo by Ben Padden. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky at Who Stitched. As well as branching out into writing, circular Gallifreyan. I'm going to take that again, because punctuation was put there on purpose.
Sorry.
That's okay. I also could have, read through it once
Technically, it still
before.
works. So.
I'm just writing circular Gallifreyan,
The Scaroth shall live through me, together with Pussy.
Mandy and
Same
I are
plane.
next door neighbors now, so we all have all the same planes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We did technically drive past your apartment to get Mexican food earlier today, so sorry we didn't get you any Mexican food.
That's okay. I drove past your apartment earlier today to go see a play. So I'm
How
sorry
dare
I didn't
you?
bring you to the play that I saw. Anyway, so there's this... How many times am I going to start this sentence? There's this montage in City of Death, Part 3.
The Scaroth shall live through me, together with Pussy.
I just Googled Duggan's name just to be sure I got that right, because I got in one of those weird headspaces where you're like, a word doesn't look right, and I was like, wait, did I just say the wrong name? And everyone's going to be like, what is she talking about?
I mean, you don't. I am prepared to be so wrong for all of us. I am the only one getting the hate mail. And it's okay, because that hate mail goes to our special inbox, which is support@comcast.net.
Ivy, if you ever, in recording any of these episodes that we've booked you on, if at any point you say something wrong and then realize it and be like, oh, I actually meant to say this, just give us a clean take of you saying that one thing, and then we'll edit it in, so it'll just be like, yeah, his name is Duggan, and just...
Yeah, it'll be laughably bad, voiceover where you can definitely
really
tell I messed it up. I love that.
The Scaroth shall live through me, together with Pussy.
I'm going to wait for that plan, and then I'm going to ask Ivy about how she got hooked on Doctor Who.
Alright. Hurry up, plane.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Don't you have a tower to crash it? Sorry, okay.
No. No! For legal reasons, this is all a joke.
Ha ha ha. Jokes. So Ivy.
Yes.
If I can throw a curveball at you and give you a question that you're totally not expecting. How did you get into Doctor Who?
The Scaroth shall live through me, together with Pussy.
Kevin is so mad he's not up on that printer right now. He's glaring at me from the floor, so if I look down, my cat's glaring at me. He's so upset.
Oh no, Kevin.
Well, the problem is he gets up on the printer, which is 3 feet above me, just because of the way my shelving is. And then he jumps down from it, and that will create a lot of noise and probably a lot of mess, so I just need to avoid that.
But what if he needs to print something out? What's he do?
He can wait. There's no printer in S-Space, Kevin.
Kevin can wait.
Let cats print.
Yeah.